ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Score Signs. My name is Luke, and this is the post-match reaction for Arsenal versus Everton in the United States friendly. Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't going into this expecting Everton to basically be a completely reformed team and to go out and absolutely batter Arsenal. This was not going to happen. Arsenal have got a couple of decent new signings. They've already been doing their pre-season. As a whole, they just seem like a more well-oiled machine compared to Everton. In the first half, it was just night and day difference comparing Arsenal to Everton. So Arsenal, they were pretty much pulling us from the word go. They had us pretty much stuck in our 18-yard box and around our first half, I'd probably say the first 10 to 15 minutes. There were a few bright things in the sense of Niels Nkounkou. He looks phenomenal going forward. When it comes to coming back and trying to actually be a defender, I would say he is lacking in that sort of department. So there should be a little bit of a workaround in that regard, whether we get the likes of Ashley Cole to actually sort of take him to the side and say, right, I'm going to take you under my wing. I was naturally in your position. I know where you are standing in this sort of regard. I'm going to train you and make you into a better defender. Or whether they turn around and think maybe he's actually better as a left midfielder, where he is going to play off Vitaly Mykolenko, and the two of them are going to do what I've been basically preaching all this time, and have Mykolenko as a defender and Nkounkou as a winger or a left midfielder. The two of them work up that field, and they can provide balls to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or Nkounkou can cut inside, which he has done on multiple occasions, and have a crack himself, which he has got the potential to do so. He's an extremely quick left back who loves to get inside that field and actually, put a shot in and make an effort, which I can't fault him for. He does great in that. It's just his defensive work that's severely lacking. It was his defensive work in the first half that led to Everton's second goal. And in regards to the first goal, I would put that more down to Ben Godfrey more than anything, just for the fact that he is a very regular Premier League player. He should know Gabriel Jesus, if he's roaming around your 6-yard box, he's trouble. And he should have been focusing more on him than any of the other lads, just for the fact that our midfield and our defence had them covered, and he was essentially marked next to no one. There was people in that box who were basically double marked when Gabriel Jesus was sitting free. But yeah, first half was not great in the slightest. Mason Holgate as a whole, now, I am talking about this in a harsh sort of sense, I do understand that. But yes, granted, it is a pre-season friendly. This is our first game. And these guys are going to need a little bit of time to get back to what they were like in the prior season and get up to that sort of fitness. But in terms of their mindsets, regarding Mason Holgate especially, I just don't see him fitting into the rhythm of the squad or the chemistry of the squad where he is right now. We could potentially use him as a midfielder, like many other defenders. They can be brought in as defensive midfielders because it is still something that's ingrained into them, because defenders in this day and age of the Premier League, they're not out and out defenders anymore. They are defenders with midfielder responsibilities. So if you put them into the midfield, they are going to be almost like you're going to get like 90 to 80% out of them versus the 100% you're going to get out of them when they're a defender. So you're going to get the players still, but they're not going to be as great until they have become more ingrained into the position that they're in at the time. This is why when you watch Ben Godfrey, I've been saying time and time again, you put him as the number 6. It's going to be a slow start. It's going to be like 5 or 6 games before he gets into the rhythm of it as a number 6. But when he gets into that number 6 role, he is going to be an absolutely phenomenal number 6. But yeah, looking at the game as a whole, though, in terms of the first half, we had about, I think it was 5 to 6 of the first team players in the main squad there. So we had the likes of Pickford, we had the likes of Godfrey, not Keane, Holgate and Mina. Mina looked great. He actually did look really good. He's still one of our best defenders that we have. And it showed in that first half because he was the one who was dictating that back line. And we had, who was on the left? Niels Nkounkou was on the left, Patterson on the right. Now Patterson in that game, he didn't get much of a look in. But that was mostly down to the fact it was almost like the Van de Beek effect. The players weren't willing to put the ball out to there. They were more interested in trying to keep it centralised and try and progress that way, or even put it to the left. So he was a little bit, you could see in his face, he was frustrated about it, and he felt like he was being left out in the cold. And I felt sorry for the guy. He is a great right back who can become a very, very important part of Everton's machine with due time. But at this point in time, I think just bleeding him into the squads, getting the players familiar with him and his play style is the critical point that we need to try and focus on. But yeah, basically the first half, not great in the slightest. It was pretty much your typical pre-season. Everton looked pretty much out of sorts, a little bit out of sync with one another, and Arsenal, as I said, looked like the well-oiled machine. However, in the second half, that was a completely different situation. So Frank Lampard made 11 changes, so he changed the entire dynamic of the squad. Pickford got brought out to goal, and our new youngster was brought in. He did decently. Our backline, so we had Vitali Mykolenko. I can't actually remember who played right back. I genuinely can't remember who played right back. Oh, Mills. No, he didn't. No, Mills didn't play right back. He was playing on the right midfield, but he was prominent in the back line. However, the main piece that I noticed in that game was Tarkowski and Michael Keane. The two of them were in perfect unison. They were the perfect two centre-backs. If one didn't get to the ball, the other was guaranteed to get it, and vice versa. It was just worked absolutely perfectly. Tarkowski kept Michael Keane's head on, kept him calm, kept him collected, and he himself was making some brilliant tackles and critical challenges. Anthony Gordon as well. Anthony Gordon, he showed his pace today, he showed his skill, he was absolutely on top of his game. Likewise with Alex Iwobi, which is something I never thought to say. Like looking at him last season or looking at him in the prior seasons, I would never have thought I would say Alex Iwobi was probably one of the best players on the field in that second half. But he was. His performance in that game was absolutely outstanding. His skill set was brilliant. His look, his sight in terms of a pass, a cross, or even a shot was superb. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to score in the second half, which is guttering, but we did have good efforts. So Solomon Rondon, surprisingly enough, actually had a decent game as well. He took a long punt at it and actually saw Turner off his line, so he had a crack at it and forced Turner to have to clamber back to try and make the save, which is good. We're challenging the keeper in that sort of regard. In regards to the likes of Reece Welch and all the other guys, they played great. The youngsters put the first team guys to shame, in all fairness. Likewise with Anthony Gordon. With him going down that left wing right now, the only way people are going to stop him is by fouling him. It's very hard to get the ball off him when he's in a stride. So this is definitely things we need to look at when we're going into the game against Minnesota. If we could basically take the positives from the first half, positives from the second half, and actually make them into a starting 11, I have high hopes that we are going to have a team that will be able to absolutely definitely destroy Minnesota. Definitely destroy Minnesota. And then from there, when we come back to the UK and into teams like the English League, so the likes of your Blackpools and all them, once we go into there and we start playing against them, we can work around it there, because them youngsters in there, I would be more than happy for them to be on the bench. The lads who started and featured in the main 22 players we had in this game, I would have no quarrels with any of those guys being in the starting 11 or on the bench, as long as they're in the positions that are most beneficial. In regards to Arsenal though, they play great. Gabriel Jesus, he seems like he's fitted into the squad really well. Nicolas Pepe, he's a little shit. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to go with a bloody youngster is just a fucking coward's move, and quite frankly Tarkowski should have bloody decked him, because what he was doing there is bang out of order. Yes, granted, he's a kid and he's going to get bolsterous. That's where you just tell him, behave yourself, lad. You say that to him, that's it. But you don't bloody go and try and square up to him. Jesus Christ, mate, you're an adult. He's still basically a kid. But in any case, guys, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, I would like to say a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to be like any of these guys and get early access and ad-free content to any of the Bramley Moore stuff, why not go over to the School of Science and become a part of the School of Science Superfan. Now, there are two tiers there, so you got the cup of coffee tier, which has no real perks or benefits, but it is essentially like giving me £1 saying, dude, like what you're doing, here's £1 on me, go get yourself a cup of coffee, and basically being a £1 donation. Whereas if you're part of the School of Science Superfan, you get early access to the content, you get ad-free content, And after being there for a set period of time, you do get a school assigned sticker. Now you can do pretty much whatever you want with the sticker, whether you want to stick it on like a laptop, if you want to stick it on your desk, stick it on your wall, stick it on your lunchbox, stick it on a lamppost, stick it outside the Anfield. You can do whatever you want with that sticker. That's pretty much yours to use. And then from there, you basically get your name in the sidebar as well. So you get thanked for every single video that you are part of the Patreon for. But in any case, guys, I have rambled on enough. I will see you on the next video, which is going to be the pre-match for Everton versus Minnesota. That's going to be an interesting game. So take care and peace.